Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win the Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every freaking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to the Reese T Tailgate Bills Mafia edition pregame show. I'm your host, Tommy, and joining me is my co-host, Mr. King Aramis himself. What up, King?
What's going on? What's going on? Go Bills. I'm ready for this game tonight. Let's do it.
Oh, Thursday night football, another primetime game. Hopefully not like the first primetime game where we're hoping for a miracle. Hopefully this one is an ass whooping, which it should be. It should be an ass whooping. And if I don't know if you guys are seeing the bottom ticker there. I always have that ticker running so you guys know what's on deck. But if you look right after that Bills versus Dolphins week 3, we got some exclusive footage. And I ain't gonna play it just yet. We're gonna wait for some people to fill up in the chat. This is for somebody. And I think Aramis is going to love it. And I think all y'all are going to love it in the chat because this is exclusive footage. I will say, though, as a disclaimer, it's not suited for everybody. All right. So just letting you guys know that there's a warning to this video. All right. So anyways, let's get to some of these comments real quick. All right, real quick. LSU, what up, Tommy? Go Bills, go Bills. Let's get the job done. Yeah, let's get that job done for sure. Sander King, let's go Buffalo. We gang 40. We can. We definitely can, depending on if McDermott wants to go for that throat, man. Scott Blakely, 99-0. I like it. It can be, maybe, possibly. 3 down, 17 to go. Let's fucking go. Let's get to some more here. Let's fucking go. For some reason, I have a weird feeling about this game because it seems so hard to figure a path to an L. It would be almost as bad as losing to Urban Meyer. Yeah, that would be. I'll tell you right now, if we did lose, boy, Dolphin fans would not let that go ever. No, probably forever. What the fuck is up, motherfucking effing Tommy? What up, Sean? How you doing, brother? 30 by halftime. I hope. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be up at halftime by at least 2 scores. Just throwing that out there. Scott Blakely, yeah, that Jags lost the worst. Jay 17 wearing a hat halfway into the fourth quarter. Yeah, he should be. He should be, right? The fourth quarter, you should see some Mitch Trubisky, hopefully. But it is a division game. You know, I don't want to be that cocky guy either where it's like we're just going to blow it every. But we should win, and we should win by 2 scores. Am I right, Aramis, or am I wrong there?
All right.
I mean, we're a good enough team, right, to do that. But what
would be my hot take? This is going to be my hot take right here. So the Bills only have 2 double-digit wins in the last 6 games against Mike McDaniel, right? And that means we basically have a 33% chance of winning by double digits tonight. Now, after reviewing some of the film and looking at what the Dolphins like to do and looking at what they seem to be capable of doing, I don't think this game is going to go into the second half being close, but I think the first half is probably going to be fairly contested. You know, the Bills will carry the lead, and you know, the Dolphins will be scrappy. I think it won't be probably until maybe end of the third quarter, early fourth, that the Bills really start to put away the game. But again, based on the stats, it doesn't seem like it will be, you know, a double-digit win, but I got that same feeling too, man. I think this is going to be a tail whipping like nobody's ever seen. Yeah. I think the Dolphins are going to give up halfway through the game because of the crowd noise, because of what's happening to them. And I think we are going to see some sort of action. Mike McDaniel's going to have to fire somebody, or he's going to be put on notice after this game too.
Yeah. So normally, listen, here's the deal. We own the Dolphins. Let's be honest, but they've given us, there's been games where it's come down to the wire, right? Let's not lie. Let's not say like we just blew them out the water every time. There's been some really close contested games. Yeah. But with that being said, the only difference I see here, or the main difference, is they're like imploding. Like that team is fucked. Like something's going on more than just the players and personnel and the scheme, whatever. It's more to it. I think there's a lot going on right now with players not liking each other, with Tua not liking Hill anymore. That's a bad thing, right? And when Hill, so that press conference I heard from, I don't know if you heard the one from Tua. By the way, he's very well spoken. Like if he could take his press conferences and give it to McDaniel, boy, it would be great, right? Like he speaks like a coach, right? Like you're very smart, very like you take a lot from what he's saying. McDaniel, I don't know what the hell he's talking about half the time, but he was talking about, you know, Hill and Waddle and, hey man, like I don't know what they expect me to throw at 80 yards, you know, all that talk. And it's like basically putting it on his receivers. That's kind of rare for a quarterback. Normally, even if it is the receiver's fault, most of the time quarterbacks always say, it's on me. I got to put that, you know, I got to hang that up more. That's more on me, even though we all know it's not. But most of the time, quarterbacks, that's the job of the quarterback, right? That's why they get paid the big bucks. Everybody points the finger at them. They take all the heat, even if it's not their fault. But Tua kind of deflected it and was like, hey, these guys it can't be, and I'm just, hey. So it's like, and then the whole Hill and Tua thing, where it's like, hey, you guys earn my trust back. This guy, you know, he talked shit last year. Like, so you could tell there's some friction there between the teammates. I could just tell, like, more than likely the locker room's divided, which is never good. And then you got a head coach who's definitely not respected. The players don't look up to him. They don't want to fight for him. So that's the reason why I think the season has gone bad for them so far, like really bad. Because they should have at least beat the Patriots, at least, right? At home. I mean, you could tell things are just going sideways really quick. And it's really, I feel like it's been in Miami, Aramis. I feel like it's been a cut that's gotten worse, like deeper and deeper, and they just keep putting Band-Aids on it. And now the blood is just gushing, right? And the owner is just like, you know, he doesn't know what the hell is going on. But I think after tonight's game, if they get blown out, this is a perfect time, if I'm an owner, to probably fire your coach, because you got this whole time now between Thursday and the next time you play where you can go, you know what, we're going to move on. You have the whole season to figure out what you're going to do with your general manager, because more than likely they'll keep him for the remainder of the season. And then you fight, like I said, and then you're the first team off the board where you're looking for a coach, just like the Jets were. Now you got kind of first pickings, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I'm the Dolphins, right? Clearly, something's wrong. If they get blown, I'm talking about blown out, more than 2 scores, it's only going to get worse. So for me, if I'm a Dolphins fan, and I would hate it for us, I would do everything in my power to get John Gruden. Everything in my power. I mean, everything. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if Gruden's blacklisted, and you know how the owners are with Goodell, right? That's how it works. This is the NFL business, right? And you know, it sucks that way, right? It's kind of a little bullshit. But if Ross were to go, fuck that, I don't give a fuck what Goodell thinks, he could because he's a free agent, right? Like Raiders let him go and cut ties, he's available. I would do everything in my power. That's the one guy, if I could get him here, and I would say, yo, you want Greer here or not? And I'm more than likely Gruden would go, nope. And they start fresh and bring it on. That's what I would do. I would hate it as a Bills fan, but that's to me, that's the play. And you got all this time to negotiate. You could literally go through the whole season and Ross could go, I'll give you what you want. Bring in your GM, give me idea. You know what I'm saying? And what's the worst that's going to happen? You don't worry out. I mean, this is way worse. So, well, if I'm a Dolphins fan, I would do. What do you think?
I don't see. I got this really sneaky suspicion that's been eating away at me for the last couple of weeks that I've been hearing about this stuff with the Dolphins, right? And I honestly, based on and I was just watching Adam Schefter on ESPN talk about this too. Even he's not really getting the sense that the owner wants to get rid of the head coach. And I was talking about this
problem,
I think a little bit yesterday, right? And on my channel yesterday, I think what we're seeing here is twofold, right? The first thing is I think we're seeing Tua dig his own grave with the comments and things that he's been saying in press conferences and blaming players and all that kind of stuff. And I just looked at their salary cap situation too. They're $3 million under the cap now, but with everybody that they've been letting go and getting rid of all these bigger contracts and kind of flushing a lot of this dead cap off this year, if they were to get rid of Tua next year and end up with a top 5 pick in the draft, they could very easily draft a quarterback and still be fine next year.
Yep.
And then the dead cap hit of, I think it's, let me just double check before I put my foot in my mouth here. So if they cut Tua post June, it's a $67 million dead cap hit that they take, right? With everybody that they have on the roster right now, they could probably stomach that for a year and get another high pick and be pretty good in 2 years with Mike McDaniel to build and develop this new young quarterback. Right now, here's the thing. I see your face and I get what you're saying, but the one thing that I want everybody to keep in mind, is Tua was about to be out of the NFL, period. If McDaniel had not come in and saved him the way that he did. He created an offense that Tua could thrive in. So I don't want to pretend like McDaniel's not a smart coach. I don't want to pretend like he's not a good coach. His reputation coming into Miami was super high, right? And you can see in the play design and you can see in the way that he built this thing around Tua. It was specifically designed for Tua to be great. And the injuries and Tua not being great is what really, hampered this thing down. So I think I say all that to say, I really, really, really think that this is coming down to the owner going to Mike McDaniel and saying, hey, if it's bad, let it be bad. If it's bad, let it be bad. Right? Take the high pick and get another quarterback and we'll build this thing right back up. But I trust you because they also tried to do the same thing with Brian Flores. They tried to get him to lose games. That's why he's suing the team now. You see what I'm saying? So I
do. But I don't. Here's the deal. I don't think that he may be smart, McDaniel, right? He may have like some tools where he, really good tools as an offensive coordinator and maybe that good mind to create an offense around a certain type of player, certain type of quarterback. I get that and I respect that. And I respect what you said about Tua, and he did help Tua, or at least he worked around his flaws and worked with what he does well, right? Which is really honestly what you should do with every player quarterback. That's all right. So, I don't really I'm not going to give him a 2, but he did a good job. But for me, it lies in this, and it's very important, Aramis, is the respect you got from your players in the locker room and the way you present yourself as a coach, right? How you talk. And because you got to have, listen, like Dan Campbell, he isn't the best, he probably maybe not even the smartest guy in the room, right? But players fight for him. He believes in them. He's a great he motivates them. His talk goes right through, right to him. It hits him right here. McDaniel doesn't have that. I haven't heard it. I know that's how he speaks to his players. Matter of fact, every player that's really ever left there hasn't really said good things. I haven't really heard hey, that guy's really, sucks leaving there because I really had a great time. I learned a lot. I haven't heard a lot of good. And I just believe that some coaches are just not meant to be head coaches or not meant to be coordinators. Sometimes they're just really good at whatever they were at, like a quarterback coach or offense coordinator. You see that plenty of time. Offense coordinator could be great, right? Go to be a head coach, and it's just not him, right? He just maybe doesn't have that voice, or players just don't, respect him for some reason, right? He doesn't earn it. And I don't think McDaniel's ever really truly earned it. I think he tried to be a players type, cool kind of coach. And I think players kind of walked on him. Things went right in a little bit in the beginning. And then when things went sideways, when you were looking for that guy to look up to, right? Your coach. Yeah. I don't think he has the answers. And that's the problem. And you could tell at the podium, he's a little confused. He seems a little shell-shocked. He doesn't have the answers. And when things aren't going well, you need to have an answer. And I feel like his offense worked well, but he hasn't really adjusted either, right? So defense is going, okay, now we know you're a timing-based offense. We're going to do this, this, and this against you, beat us. And he's never really found that way around it, right? Like it's kind of been, even when his backups came in, right? You got to know, okay, I got a backup and he's nothing like Tua. Let's do this time. Let's change the play calling to fit this guy. And he didn't do that. And that's why they lost games as well. Because I feel like they could have won. When you have talent, I'll give you an example. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, it's talent, right? And you can't say Miami doesn't have talent. Hill and Waddle are good receivers. They're really good.
Yeah.
Just like Jamar Chase and Higgins, they're really good. So you throw a quarterback in there that's even average to good, and you get the right play calls for him, he's going to still they're going to win some games. It's just the way it works. Browning is going to win some games for Cincinnati. If you look at Miami, total opposite. Their backup quarterbacks just couldn't, even with the best receivers, even with these two guys, they couldn't get it done. And matter of fact, they were putrid, right? Until Tua came back, and then all things go again. So my point is, I don't think he's the guy. I think Ross is eventually going to hear it from the fans, which he's already has probably. Planes flying by with fire here. It's never a good look, right? He's been there long enough. I always say give it the 3-year rule. After 3 years, you judge your coach or your player, your quarterback, whatever player you got by then. If he hasn't improved, you got to move on. You cannot keep with the same thing. That's how I go, the 3-year rule. But go ahead.
Right. Okay, so yes, what you're saying is exactly how we used to treat the Bills, back during the drought days. You get every coach we got. You get 3 years to get it right or get something moving or have some type of progress or you're out of there, right? But if let's just think about this from a football only perspective. Let's think about this from the perspective of what we see on the field, right? The idea that this head coach put together this product that could put up 70 points in this era where defenses are almost just as fast as any offense, and he comes up with an offensive scheme and an offense that's faster than everybody, right? Then you put that together with the fact that most teams don't play well against his offense because of the motions and all of that kind of stuff. The Bills, for some reason, match up very well against it. I'll say this, and I guess this is really the point that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah,
it's very easy to say that a coach is not doing well when his quarterback is not doing well. If we look at Sean McDermott in the first 2.5, let's say 2.5 years of his career here, right?
Yeah,
we could easily point at the quarterback play and say, man, if that quarterback play would have stayed the same, he probably wouldn't have been a head coach here very long. Right, because it was Josh that came in and was transformative from the standpoint of, okay, now we've solidified the offense. Now Sean can just worry about the defense, and the offensive coordinator and Josh will take care of the offense. Now we got a real team. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Mike McDaniel having Drake May. Put Drake May on that team, and I think the hope is a lot bigger than what we saw even with Tua being there, right? I think the development would have been, look, okay, I'll put it like this. Look at what Daniel Jones is doing now with Shane Steichen, right? Nothing against Dayball, but I think his system didn't fit what Daniel Jones did well. And Dayball's the kind of guy, you get in my system, this is what I want you to do. There is no flexibility and we're gonna work with what you want to do and blah blah blah. This is what we doing. Air raid, period. Right. So
yeah,
if we put Daniel Jones in Mike McDaniel's system, he might perform similar to how he's performing in Indy now. So I all I'm really trying to say is I don't want to get away from the skill set of the head coach and use and kind of use the play of the quarterback as a reason to say we got to immediately get rid of this guy. Now, far be it from me to sit here and say the Dolphins shouldn't fire their head coach. I wish they would fire their head coach every year so that we can continue to have dominance. But I don't think the owner's thinking like that. And I don't think that that's going to be the reason that anything happens in Miami.
I do. And I think skill set in a way doesn't always lead to winning, right? There's been quarterbacks come out and out of the draft that have awesome skill sets, but for some reason they can't take it to the next. They can't get it all together in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff George, right? He was scouted as one of the best quarterbacks coming out of the draft, right? Awesome arm, but mentality-wise, he's cocky, had attitude, didn't want to learn, didn't want to get better in his craft, right? He's a failure. There's plenty of that, right? Guys that coming out that just couldn't do it, right? And I think McDaniel, and that goes for coaches too. I think there's coaches that get a lot of hype and they just don't live up to expectations. And I think McDaniel, I just like you said, I think he has some stuff in him that can make him a good coach. I think, or not make him a good coach, that helps quarterbacks, offensive minded, and that's great. But you also have to have all the little things that make a head coach what a head coach is, right? The respect, all that other stuff, like the drafting, what you want, to build around, and like we don't know. All I could tell you is what I've seen, and I can tell you what his record is. All right, his record against teams over 500. I think he has 3 wins. That is terrible. I mean, that's awful. I don't care who you're. And if you feel like his quarterback's so bad, he should have made the change already. If you feel like 2 is the one, why you can't be beating teams over 500 since you've been head coach. That is unacceptable. I don't care. You have enough weapons, right, around Tua to be better than that against teams over 500. That's one. Mm-hmm. 2, I just don't think, like I said, he has the respect, and that is everything. If a team doesn't respect you, if they don't want to fight for you, it's a wrap. And I think Greer's been there way too long. I think what they wanted was great, all the speed, all the small guys, but what does that do for you in January? A lot of these guys are frail, they get hurt, and you see what happens. So you can't just, if you're going to do that, you better you make sure these guys are built for January. A lot of these guys aren't. So that's what I'm just saying. That's one. Yeah. But as a coach, I'm just saying that what he's built and what they wanted, guess what? It's not working. And if it's not working, you got to go. So what? You think a quarterback could just change all that? It's not.
Absolutely. It changed everything in Buffalo. Look, okay.
It changed everything in Buffalo because they did more than just the quarterback, though. They dumped a lot of players. They got rid of.
They got rid of LaShawn McCoy.
But they have not. No, and they also got rid of Marcel Darius.
Yeah, Marcel Darius.
So, but my point is, look, and I'm not a huge McDermott fan, you know that, but he's way more. I think.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, listen. I think he's way better in the locker room. I do. I think there's some. Yeah, I do. I think he absolutely. You telling me McDaniel
from a player's perspective,
100%.
From a player's perspective, who you put on the field matters more than what you say in the locker room. There's only so much that a head coach can say in the locker room.
I get it.
Go back and watch Bobby Babbitt's interview from the live I did yesterday. He talks about that in his press conference this week. Just on Tuesday, he said this. He could say whatever to the players. Yeah. What matters is how the players go out and execute what they want to do on the field. So that's why I'm saying if you're a head coach, I could be trying to inspire whatever I want in the player in the locker room. When they get out on that field, do they have a quarterback that can inspire in them the performance that we got in the Ravens game here? That's on Josh Allen. That's not on.
I get you, but you still have to have that guy in the locker room. You still need to have a guy that they respect, that they want to fight for. There's no way. I'll promise you this too. If McDaniel gets fired, which I believe he will, I promise you, he won't get a head coaching job. I will put money on that. Mike McDaniel will not get a head coaching job in the NFL his next trip around. I promise you, he will get a coordinator job, but I'll guarantee, bro, he has not. What has he earned to get that right?
Usually when
he has not. He has not earned the right.
And then he comes back as a head coach a few years after that.
Sure, maybe. Okay, maybe. But we don't know that. But he will not get a head coaching job right away. I promise you. He doesn't have a good record. He doesn't. You know who else may not? Dable may not. Dable gets fired. He may not get a head coaching job right away. Maybe in college, right? I can see Dable. You know, I can see Dable. I'll be honest with you. I think Dable would fit better in college. I think Dable with younger quarterbacks, he could build off there. He's like an Alabama coach. I could definitely see him going and being a better coach than right now what they got in Alabama. For me, now if in the NFL, I think Dable could go.
He might be a little too hard for college because he's very but your face. Like college kids will just transfer. They ain't trying to deal with that.
Well, now that they can, sure, it's a little different now, right? They're getting paid now, right?
You're going to be yelling and spitting in my face. I'm out of here. I'll transfer.
Yeah, I just don't like him as a coach. He's not my, and listen, you know me, I'm not a McDermott guy either. I just don't think he has the respect in the locker room. I don't think his system works anymore. I think it's broken. I think he's broken. I'll be honest with you. When he talks, if you look through the history of time with him in press conferences, he wasn't this fucking dumb. He's gotten really, he's like, the dude is taking like shots before the press conference or something. He's out of it. Yeah, something's going on there. He reminds me of the Pistons old coach. We used to have a guy here, and bro, this guy looked fucking miserable. I forget his name. He was the Toronto Raptors head coach, Dwayne Casey. So we were we hired Dwayne Casey, who, by the way, was coach of the year when he got fired from Toronto. You would think, why is the coach of the year getting fired? There was a reason, right? So we got him over to Detroit. Terrible. And through the years, you just see this guy on the sideline. Guy looks like he's drinking like a bottle of tequila every night. Just miserable. Wanting just to get fired. Just fire me. And eventually they fired. So, but dude, you can tell like the wear and tear of losing. I'm sure it gets to you. And I think McDaniel is he's hearing it. Trust me. He's hearing it from every angle. And I'm sure, like I said, the locker room eventually starts to talk. Winning helps everything. Winning, you know that. Winning cures everything. But losing, when you lose and lose and lose, it takes it affects you. All right, let's get some of these comments. And then, guess what? And we're going to get to, because now the chat's full. And Spin, are you still in the building? Because I saw Spin came with the inactives, and I'll get to all your chat. Inactives, here we go. Curtis Samuel. Wow, I can't believe it. Jordan Hancock, Jamarcus Ingram, Matt Milano, what? Ed Oliver, Chase Lunt, Jackson call-ups, Logue and Jenkins. Good for Jenkins, get another call-up. All right, so, guys, I'm about to play a clip. It's footage that I obtained. Viewer discretion is advised. I must warn you. And I hope everybody's here. And once again, you want to turn away, I get it, but here we go. All right, that's Spin cruising around Buffalo. So yeah, that was my exclusive video. It was sent over to me. Spinning a few buddies were just driving around. See, he knows it. Says, don't be jealous. Rocking out to some Miley Cyrus. Well, you know, they were all sitting around talking about Sean McDermott.
No, that was great. That was
yeah. So if you see Spin, you know, driving around his Jeep playing some Miley, you know, wave to him. Say hello. Because you know everything's great. Our young guys are getting amazing reps and experience when it almost doesn't matter. This can turn out great.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Mr. Fulton, the most interesting man in the chat. Hello, Tommy. Breaking news. And today I made it to the next round of NBC's The Voice. Look at this guy. Most interesting man in the chat. Huh? Mr. Fulton.
Nice.
All right, next up. It's so hard being so incredibly good looking. Were you no bones? Were you in that Jeep with Spin? I agree, Sophia. If any right side rookies get reps. Yeah, this is good, man. And I will say this stretch coming up before the bye week, it's perfect. It's a perfect time for the young guys to get their reps, to learn from mistakes. They're going to make them, right? And because the second half is going to get tough, right? That's where a lot of games are. We got the Chiefs coming to town, Philly, the Bengals. I think the Falcons are before the bye, but we have some tough games. I still though. We still, they're still, they got weapons, right? And Browning's okay, right? So we'll see I'll tell you what, we'll see where they're at that point. I'm not going to stress them quite yet, but if they're playing well and they've played well before Browning, we'll see. But we do have some games that are tougher down the stretch, right? Down the second half. So I feel like if these rookies can learn from their mistakes early on, get all that bad shit out of the way, I think the second half could be even better, right, for this team, especially on defense. What's your thoughts on Bosa so far? Because Bosa's getting a lot of love early on as far as off-season signings. What do you feel about that so far through 2 weeks? I know it's early, but you think it's a good sign? It's looking like a good signing right now for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I think it's working. I think with what they want from their defensive ends, he fits perfectly, because he's not a bendy guy. He's not a speed rusher. And they like their defensive ends to be edge setters. They like their pass rush to come from the middle the most, for the most part. That's why they have guys like TJ Sanders and Deion Walker drafted. Those guys are better pass rushers than they are run stuffers. The Bills don't prioritize that in the middle of their defensive line. So for Bosa, though, I think it's pretty surprising to me how healthy he looks on the field, right? Yeah. And I did a little quick study on what's called the winning effect and how that affects players' psyche, how it affects their physiology. And, so much of this talk around Bosa is he looks so happy. He just looks like he has so much joy playing here. And for a player to come from LA and what he was enduring there with all the losing and all the coming close and never being able to really achieve anything with that team his entire career. I mean, you come from a place like, I think he came from Ohio State with all the winning that they were doing when he was there. Like it's hard to leave that in college and come to just losing all the time. Right. So, right. So I definitely think him being here is a rejuvenation for him. I think with that in mind, it's gotta be a rejuvenation physiologically for his body. I think that's going to lead to him staying healthy longer, to be honest, because that's the scientific effects of, less cortisol, less stress and anxiety from losing and all that kind of stuff. So I love what I've seen so far, though.
Yeah. And he went to from a 3-4 to 4-3, said that's helped a lot with him. But yeah, he looks, like you said, like it's just a new place, a new spark, he has like a fresh aura about him in a way, right? Like, winning obviously helps, right? The 2 wins right away to start, his career in Buffalo. He's making plays early on. Teammate, obviously, the locker room's, pretty tight. He sees that. But yeah, man, it's so far so good. I was on the fence with the signing. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, my whole thing was this with him. $12 million. Okay. I was like, all right. A guy that hasn't been healthy over the last 3 years. Right. His numbers show it, right? Because he's not on the field. But my thing was this. I don't care what he did in the regular season. Can Joey Bosa, the old Bosa, or at least somewhat of the old Bosa, show up in the playoffs when we really need him? Yep. And that was my concern since day one. It wasn't really what can he do during the regular season, because, that really doesn't kind of matter in a way. Of course, you want to see him do, make plays like he's been, but I feel like they had a plan with him when they signed him. They understand his injury history. They're keeping him on a certain count, which is perfect, right? For him, and so far it's worked, man. We just had bad luck when it comes to injuries, so I really hope they continue to rotate him as much, keep him on a certain snap count, like a pitcher, right? Yeah. In a way, right? You don't want to get him over 100 pitches in a game, right? No. Like, you want to keep him at, a certain amount, and then honestly, he's a 1-year guy. I would probably just go overboard in the playoffs with him at a certain, you know, just push it to the extreme level, put it all the way up to max, and get your money's worth, you know, right there, because more than likely they're not going to give him an extension or re-sign him. This will probably be it. It's going to be a one and done for him here. I would be shocked if they extend. Yeah. Exactly, especially if he continues to have this season and stays healthy. He could potentially get a Von Miller type you never know, like we gave him, right? And it ain't no fucking way. And I honestly wouldn't want Bean to do it, to sign him at that age in knowing his history, because just like Von played great that year before, or good to great, won a Super Bowl, but you see, man, 1 year to the next, and the injury, and then kind of just trickles from there because of the age, right? You're kind of seeing that with a lot of players that get up there in age, right? Like J.J. Watt, same thing. Go back to him when he got that contract and left Houston. You know, it happens, guys. Like
for 1 year, and that was it.
And age kind of some players, not all players, but you know, a lot of time you can't defeat Father Time, man. And some of these players think they can, you know, training, get jacked up, and they look physically great, but get on that field and you kind of show your age, you know what I mean? And then an injury happens, and that's a wrap, Jack. It's hard to get back to being what you once were, especially after these injuries, man. Talk to Trey about it. Trust me, he'll tell you. How about Zion looking like an actual one-tech? What do you think about Zion? Loeb, Mr. Loeb.
I like his size. I like what he does. I try not to get too high on that kind of stuff because, you know, I know the Bills are not prioritizing that type of player in the middle of their defensive line, you know, so it's not like Logue is going to work his way up to a prominent role as, you know, the run stuffing one tech next to Ed Oliver. The Bills don't want that, right? So Logue is going to be another one of these guys where you know, we love the development, and the Bills don't really see the value in giving him a big contract that keeps him on the field, and then I'll be pissed off again. So I just I just let
enjoy his time.
Yep,
yeah, he's a filler. Like I don't even call him fillers, right?
Yeah.
But somebody mentioned Harrison up above. I think it was Roy, or not Roy. It was Robert, I believe. And yeah, it would be cool to see him out here. Obviously, this will be a good test for him with the speed, because that's why obviously they drafted him, to see what they, you know, for players like Worthy, players like Hill. But obviously, he's not here. And look, I don't think for anyone thinking that Harrison's going to make an impact this year, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I don't see it happening this season. And that's because he missed a lot of time, right? Valuable time, reps. And you're just not going to get those back during the regular season. You can't. You know, it's practicing for your next opponent. It's not working on your craft, right? I'm not going to, you know, I know some people are sometimes quick to be like, oh, this guy's a bust. Like, I'm not that guy just yet. I do give a rule about the 2-3 year kind of, you know, trajectory. If a coach or a player is after 2-3 years, if I see some movement and growth, then yeah, I'm cool, and I'll give that guy more of an opportunity. But if it's a decline or not really going anywhere, then you could say, hey, it's not a good pick, it's a bust. But right now, I'm not going to say that about the kid. I haven't seen him even step on the football field yet. It's kind of unfair to judge somebody, but once again, I just don't know if you'll see him this year make any kind of impact or even really be on the field much, unless there's multiple injuries. Trey goes down, Dorian Strong goes down, right? Like, and they really need a body, and he's available. Then, of course, obviously, you'll see Harrison. But right now, with how Strong's playing, Trey White, I thought played pretty well last week, no problem. I just don't see where Harrison fits in. And where McDermott would even feel comfortable throwing him in the mix in, let's say, week 9 or something. Like, I just don't see it, guys. So I could be wrong, and maybe he comes in and plays great, you know, and then awesome. But I don't want you guys to feel let down, right? That, hey, damn, our first round pick didn't do anything this year. Probably won't, right? Unfortunately, he got hurt, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So
yeah, even when it comes back, he's still going to be far behind Dorian Strong. You know what I mean? Just in terms of how much he knows, the experience he has, and all that kind of stuff. Harrison's really not going to get another shot at how can I say this? He's not going to get a real shot at a full-time spot until next season, like next off season, right? So
exactly. Yeah, and that's okay. That's fair. Like, and I listen. A player like that, he understands that. He knows this. It's the way it works, right? And that's okay. And like I said, unless there's something crazy that happens where he has to be thrown in the mix, I just don't see it happening. Harrison is a 2-year rookie, like Cole, but yeah, and exactly like Robert, exactly, and like Keon Coleman. I said the same thing about Keon Coleman when we drafted him. Give him some time. I said the same thing about Spencer Brown. You kind of got to know these players too, and understand like what they need to work on as a player.
Yep.
A lot of these guys we draft, they do not project players, but they need work, right? And I feel like Bean and McDermott feel like most of the time they can make it work, right? And sometimes they can't. Sometimes it fails. Sometimes it's a failure, and we've had those, and that. Cody Ford, Elam, like there's some players that came through here. They thought they could change or get right in their system, and it just didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens to Harrison. I do think he needs some work in his game, but we'll find out, man. I'm not gonna kill the kid just yet, though. Speaking of improvement, Kincaid is eligible for a 5th-year option. Nope, don't want him back. But anyways, I'll keep reading. So far, from what you've seen, how likely is it Bills use that option? They don't. I would be shocked if they do. If they do, it is what it is. That means maybe he came on strong, the rest of the season here, the second half or something like that this year. But seeing what I saw last year, seeing what I'm seeing so far through 2 weeks, I don't see why they would. There's nothing right now, and that's not a knock on him. I think he could go somewhere and actually thrive in a different system. I just don't know if they know how to use tight ends here. And not only that, Bills in general, throughout the history of time that I've been watching, they don't use tight ends. They just don't. Tight ends are not a real factor here. They've never been. Any coach, the great Mark Levy, we had okay tight ends. So I don't know what it is about Bills and tight ends. They just don't work out from one way or the other. I like his skill set. I do think he has some flaws to his game, but I also think he could go somewhere else and flourish. I see him as a Gesicki type, and that's not a bad thing, right? If you're on a certain offense, you can actually be useful. I just don't know if he's the guy here. I think right now Dawson Knox is more Josh, kind of goes to him a little bit more, trust him a little bit more. And then the new guy they got, I feel like, man, he's not that he's the greatest ball, he doesn't have the greatest hands in the world, but he did have a great catch when needed.
Yeah.
And he's a bruiser, a blocker. He's a mean motherfucker, right? We got a super chat coming in. Mikey from Nickel City Mafia. Hey, if y'all don't know Nickel City, those are my boys. They're like family. Go over there, subscribe. They're always showing love to my channel, so show them love back.
Thank you very much.
Let me hit this. And of course, you know. And also, too, before we move on, if you don't know, and if you haven't already, my boy right here has a podcast himself. And come on, most of you guys know, but I'll tell you anyways. Post Podium Podcast with King Aramis and 40 Keys. That's my dog, too. They're live on Mondays and Fridays. And then obviously they have other content as well that Aramis is working on. So go over there, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You will know when they're live. So yeah. Let's get to some more here. Inactives. Yep, I'll read it again. Why not? Because you did it twice. Inactives. Curtis Samuel, Jordan Hancock, Jamark Singra, Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, Chase Lund, Landon Jackson. He's one that being. I'm not going to say yeah because I just talked about giving player chances. Logan Jenkins. We'll see what happens with I think Jackson. Oh God, he's such a wild card, man. Because once again, a guy with talent, but. I think when it came to him in this offseason, and I could be wrong, Aramis, but I think they thought they could get him up to speed maybe a little bit quicker, and it just didn't. I don't think it didn't get there fast enough for them, and I think that's why you're seeing him inactive. I just don't think he caught on quite yet. I think he might be a guy they're going to have to work with a little bit more in the offseason. I don't know yet. And once again, I can't call him a bad pick yet. I got to wait. But right now, early on, out of all the rookies, man, like he's the one that's kind of like behind, right? Like he's the one that had plenty of opportunity. There's no injuries. And he just, for some reason, just didn't catch on. So we'll see. It takes time, and it's up to the player, too. So let's not, shit on him yet, but early on. Go ahead, Aramis.
Here's the thing for Jackson. Jackson is more pass rusher than edge setter, and I think that's what's really slowing him down right now. They got a guy who uses his athleticism for the pass rush. At the college level, he could set the edge, but not in the NFL. He's not built well enough. He's not core strong enough to hold the edge in the NFL the way the Bills want their defensive ends to do. So that's why he's not getting on the field anytime soon. The other part of it is technique. I mean, as a pass rusher, he's very basic with his skill set and the moves and counter moves that he has. So while he does present size and athleticism that's very intriguing, this is definitely one of those picks that Sean McDermott was talking about when he said attitude over ability. Jackson is just one of those guys with a great attitude, but the ability's got to be developed.
100%. And to me, that's on the player, right? And wanting to take that next level to work on your craft, right? And some do. I'm not going to listen. I'm not knocking any. I'm sure some players work very hard and they just can never get to that level they want to be. But at least you know that you did put that work in. And I'm not saying he didn't, but let's give him another offseason to work on his craft, just like Keon Coleman did, just like a lot of players did, right? Spencer Brown put the work in. Obviously, Josh Allen put the work in. So maybe, like I said, if you have the tools in the shed, it's very possible that this guy could turn out to be a good pick. And it's also possible he could turn out to be a bad pick. So we will find out. Time will tell. We got time. I don't think it's anything where we're like year 3 and we're like, damn, hey, Landon Jackson not suiting up. So we'll find out. It's not a rush. And I understand what you're saying about Solomon, but Solomon's been here a year already. I think he's, the understanding of the defense is there a little bit. I think he's a little bit more sound right now in the NFL level than Jackson, right? That's the thing that I think Aaron was talking about when it comes to the next level of play from college to NFL. And so Solomon probably has a little edge on him.
Yeah, for a guy like Solomon, he's mostly in on like pure obvious pass rushing downs anyway, because he's a pure speed rusher.
Correct. Yeah. Kind of talks Buffalo. What up, man? How's everything going, brother? Jackson was super Terry when he got drafted. McD was taken aback when he was on the phone with him, just saying, I get it. Like, look, if you're looking at Jackson, and I was hyped up for the big 2 because he had, once again, you see it. He has the tools. He's a very athletic guy, young, and that's what you want, obviously, in a football player, especially an edge rusher. You want that bend, you want that athleticism, that speed, the power. Like, he has all that stuff, but putting it together is a whole nother thing, right? And then obviously working on your craft and getting better, and that stuff, he's just going to have to go through the motions. And I think, like I said, I think with him, it might have just registered a little bit slower as far as his process goes. So we'll see. It's all, he has plenty of time, unless they wind up trading him or something, you know what I mean? But right now, there's no rush. No one's going, hey, we're going to get Landon Jackson. We want Landon Jackson. No one's calling about Landon Jackson. He's here to stay for now. Okay, so McDermott, I don't know about that. I never heard that. I'm going to cry if we lose tonight. We're not losing, so get that out of your mind. Scott, come on. For Jackson, it's more of the stem of the pass rush and his setup. There really isn't many moves beyond the swim, the bull rush, and the spin move and a rip. I get it. But once again, though, even TJ Sanders has a good swim move, but his is electric compared to Jackson. You get what I'm saying? So they're a little bit different. If that, like, I feel like I said, once again, I feel like Jackson has certain tools I just think he needs to sharpen them. I think he also needs to get a few more in the bag, right? And I think that's what they saw in him, to be honest with you guys. Once again, I go back to most of these drafts. A lot of these guys, I feel like they draft knowing that they're going to need some work. Most of them, and some work and some don't. I'm not, it is what it is. I didn't hate the pick, so I'll tell you that right now. I'm not against Landon Jackson. I'm telling you guys, he's going to probably need a little bit of work. That's not bashing the guy. Scott Blakely, really hoping for Milano having a healthy season. Damn, man, awesome. Anyway, listen, they were smart. They understood. Thank God they did the contract the way they did to get out this year. I feel for the guy. I do. I really do, because he's a good dude. He's a good player, right? When healthy, he's electric. He is. But guy's getting hurt on tackling dummies. He's just, I'm not calling him Glass Joe, but he's damn near getting close to that, right? He just can't stay healthy. He's had some, and by the way, his injuries are all over. They're all fucking all over his body. And they're usually long, prolonged injuries. They're not like a broken finger, right? They're injuries that are the season ending, or 6 games or 4 games or 8 games. Like, he just has, I don't know if it's bad luck or just his body's breaking down. And I'm going to go on the body breaking down. I think it's just breaking down from playing football a long time. Some players have that. They break down. Look at Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's a prime example. He's a great player, but his body's broken. When healthy, dynamic, awesome. But he's breaking. He really is breaking. Tua is breaking. There's a certain guys that just their bodies break. It's a brutal sport.
Yeah,
it's a brutal sport, and not everybody can last. Some guys can't. Yeah, physically they cannot. That's why we love Josh Allen so much, right? The guy takes a total beating, right, and just gets up like the Undertaker and continues to play on. It's amazing. But I will say this: you guys better pray and hope that is going to last, right? Because in time, every quarterback in time eventually goes through something. So let's hope it's not anytime soon. But yeah, hand placement, footwork, in and out, guys. Sorry, no, you're good. You're good, Beth. Man, we haven't gotten to anything really the game yet. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get to all your comments. I'm sorry. Tua is broken. Kid at school, we're taking bets on who would knock him out today. Beth, that's terrible. Beth is a teacher, by the way. So if you got kids talking about who's going to knock out Tua, break him out, it's terrible. I feel for the guy. He's not a bad person. I don't want any guy to be broken in front of me, but I will say this when it comes to Tua, and he hasn't had one since last year? Woo! Concussion, that is. The NFL is definitely monitoring that 100%. And they definitely have some say, because they do not want that on the field. Every player suffers concussions. Every player. I'm sure some of them aren't even reported. But when you're fencing and you're out there on the field like that, and it's the same player, trust me, the NFL does not want that, because it's a bad look for their product. It's a business, right? They're trying to get everybody to buy in, right? Look, Nickelodeon. Can you imagine if they're playing the Toy Story cartoon and Tua gets fencing? What are they gonna do?
You got freaking Woody on the field convulsing like this.
Right. Right. You got the fucking ambulances. The
Buzz Lightyear's on a knee praying for him right there.
They throw the slime on them, right? Just to kind of make it fun so the kids don't freak out. Hey, kids, it's the slime. Time to slime the freak.
Right in the middle of
the
Wait, what's going on?
Yeah. It's just for fun, kids.
Buzz Lightyear got electrocuted. What happened?
So yeah, they don't want that.
There's a snake in my boot. Shaking like this. There's a snake in my boot.
Right,
that's great. That is
great.
My
God. So that's my point. Definitely don't want that.
These guys
the NFL.
Cynicals we are.
Oh my God, dude, it's so great. All right, so let's get to the game in hand. By the way, I don't know if you know, but TD Finch Talk and company are in Buffalo to watch this game. They're in a suite with the roundtable people. So Dan and TD, that whole crew. So TD said, and I'm telling you guys this in case you don't watch him. Of course, he always says a lot of shit, but he said if the Bills win by more than 10 plus points, then he will say the Bills are a Super Bowl, that we're going to the Super Bowl. He will come out and say the Bills are the best team in the AFC. They are going to Super Bowl. But if we don't, oh, by the way, he predicted us to lose, though.
He better start.
Yeah, I love his optimism, but man, listen, the only way we lose this game is if we if two ways. One, Allen goes out, right? Which, knock on wood, he's not going out. Or two, we just self-implode, right? Like things just go terribly wrong. And I'll say it like I said it before. It's rare that we lose to teams that are under 500. Super rare. We have done them. Not saying we haven't, but for the most part, we're pretty up for these games. Primetime games, I think we're on Thursday, 6-0, 6-1, something like that. We have pretty good records when it comes to this. The Dolphins do not, by the way. They do not have good records. So I just don't see a way the Bills lose this game. I don't. Now, could a game be close? Possibly. Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. It's a division game. I mean, that's possible, right? That I won't say no way. There's no way a game could come down to 3 points. Sure it can. But losing, I just don't see it happening. It would have to be. And if we lose, my God, they better go quickly to the locker room and look in the mirror because somebody fucked up. A lot of people fucked up, actually. Not just somebody, a lot. So there is no reason, guys, zero, to be losing this game. We're going against a team that is basically broken. There is no reason. And not only that, I could even go with the fact if they already fired the coach and they have a new interim coach and they're trying to play for because you know how that is, right? The interim coach and the players are trying to play for the interim coach and it's a spark. Okay, maybe I buy into that. Maybe that whole, because I've seen that happen, but that's not the case here. That is not the case here at all. You got Tua coming out saying Josh Allen's the man and I can't even do half the shit he does. And you got the whole talk about
Rasul Douglas is their number 2 corner. Just go in all game long.
Right. Exactly. Attack him all game long. Exactly. So I want your thoughts on some things, and we're going to get to the game. My one concern so far early in the season, I've gotten some slack on this. I actually talked to Keys off air about it because I got a guy that wrote a book comment. I mean, he basically should have sold it to Amazon. This comment was this long. I went on Dan Mitchell's show and I talked about the receiver room, and I always like to go back and check comments. If I'm a guest somewhere, so I checked, and this guy wrote, "Fucking dude," I was there. I literally had to come back, go eat lunch, come back, and read again. It was that long, and the guy just bitching about my take about the wide receiver room, and I'll tell you, it was a simple take, and it wasn't me bashing or saying these guys suck, they're terrible, My thing is this. I don't think they've been consistent at all, right? The Everybody Eats 2.0 that I call it can work if players all do their part, right? And if Joe Brady, understands the player's strengths and weaknesses and using them right in the offense. That's the only way this would work, right? I understand we have Khalil Shakir's not 100%. I get that. I'm cool with that, and I threw that out there. I understand that some players aren't playing. Curtis Samuel's not playing. I get that part. But at the same time, I've seen in 2 games, I've seen way too much inconsistency with players not getting open earlier in the routes, with Josh Allen going through his reads, having to escape pocket, finding a receiver that's open, right? And not only that, you got players dropping balls like Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Unacceptable. Can't do that. But then you'll have a quarter where they show up. Right? They'll show up for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but then they go silent for a quarter. Then they're back in the third quarter, and then they're making some noise. Like, I need more consistency. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking the players, but it won't work. Like, this system that we're running only works if everybody does their job, creating separation. And the reason why we got Palmer is because he's the separating guy, right? He's the guy that create early separation early in the routes. I haven't seen much of it. I've seen a little, but I haven't seen a much where I go, all right, yeah, that's why we signed him. There we go. There we go. Like, it hasn't been there, right? You got Elijah Moore, who's an over-the-top speed guy. I'm expecting all these different. Not really. I mean, we haven't really name a deep ball we've thrown. Not much. I can't remember one. It's far too inconsistent, and I feel like this is dating back from last year where we're going through the motions, we're winning games, so the cloud is there, and we're going, hey, everything's great. We're scoring 30. What are you complaining about? But then we hit a snag, and then the cloud disappears, and you go, oh shit, we need help and receiver. Exactly. And then we go and get Cooper, and then we go, oh hey, wow, Keon Coleman actually had 125 the very first game. Why? Oh, wow, because they're respecting this guy who still has some juice in the tank. The defensive coordinator is going, hey, this guy can create separation. You got to focus a little bit. That creates everybody else to do their job a little bit easier. We just don't have it right now. And until a guy like maybe Palmer, and I'm not saying Palmer's on that level, but somebody has to eventually step up to be the guy that defenses go, got to watch that guy, right? Got to watch that guy. Or else, because if they don't respect you, your offense, your wide receivers, then this is kind of what you get, right? This Josh kind of waiting, getting out of the pocket and just kind of making a play up, right? Then you got the scramble drill, right? Who's on the same page on the scramble drill? It should not be that way. I've seen offenses click way better, way smoother. I will say this, and you can, and I'll ask you about this. I do think the offense, at least in the passing game, works much smoother when we're up tempo. I feel like the up tempo offense kind of gets the offense in a flow and gets the defense kind of backpedaling and also prevents them from substituting. So I kind of feel like we get in a little bit more of a flow. I'm not saying we need to do it all the time, but what do you think about that?
So the up tempo thing, I think one of the things, because we talked a little bit about this last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, we did. You're right. We did. Yeah.
And so I don't want to like rehash that my same thought.
That's fine.
There. I have a different thought though, which is if you notice and this is pretty much every team when they're in their 2-minute drill or they're in hurry up mode, so to speak. Yeah. Most of the routes being called are vertical routes, and with the receivers that we have, unfortunately, they're more built to run vertical routes, and that includes Keon Coleman. As much as we want to bank on any of these receivers coming in and developing into a guy that can get serious separation every single down, that's very unrealistic for the guys that we have right now, right? The guy that we have that's closest to that is Elijah Moore, and we saw that in the Jets game. He ran that he ran it from the slot, and it was kind of that kind of I forget what the route is called, but it's you just kind of run it in and then you jet back out towards the sideline. That was against man coverage, and he got plenty of separation on that route, and he got the ball. Exactly. Yep. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you see the Bills having success, it's because they're running vertical routes. When you see Josh being able to throw to drop back and get the ball down the field, those are vertical routes. The deep comebacks that Keon Coleman got in the Ravens game, vertical routes at the end of the game, crossing route can still considered a vertical route because it's angling 20 yards down the field. So this is Josh's real game that we're seeing when all these receivers are running these vertical routes and the passing game is really humming. But again, they're only going to jump into that in hurry up situations.
Hurry up. All right. End of halves. Exactly. Right. Or down. Yeah, I totally get. But that's what I mean. They shouldn't only jump into that on those particular moments. I feel like if they can mix things. But that's up to Brady, though. Like once again, I go back to Brady. No, McDermott too. I'm with you on the McDermott. I do think McDermott wants a certain offense and a defense.
Yep.
I do agree with that. I've been saying that as well. Like I'm with you, but that still doesn't mean that Joe Brady cannot dial up a little bit more creativity. I think he has it in him. I just don't think that he's done enough with the team with the players he has. Like I see what you guys said. Somebody up there said we have a lot of B plus B receivers, and right now I would say honestly that's probably true. Right? I'm not gonna. But you know what? If you have a great quarterback, so we're calling them B. Let's call them all Bs. And you got a great quarterback. He can make those Bs look like A minuses.
Oh yeah,
he can. Right? A's. Right? And if those guys, one of those guys, become an A minus or a B plus, they can look like a superstar out there. They really can with a quarterback like that. Go back and look at the great quarterbacks around the NFL that's made receivers, what they are, and they go and leave, and they're not anything like they were. Right? I mean. Look, for instance, I love Peerless Price, right? But he was here with Drew Bledsoe in his best year ever, got a big contract, and was not anything like he was in Buffalo the year he played for Drew. And he even came back, it still wasn't because Drew wasn't here. Now you got special players like Molds, right, who could fit any quarterback. That doesn't matter. But when you have guys that are Bs, like you said, you need the A, and that's Josh Allen. But you also need the coordinator to open it up, and you need the head coach to believe in that. And maybe they need to eventually figure that part out. But I don't think it's bad enough right now where I'm totally discouraged with the wide receiver room. And I get what you're saying. Everybody eats and all that stuff. And it's worked. We put the points, but go back to last year, guys. I promise you, and I'm not trying to diss this team or knock this team, but last year we started off hot too. And we were scoring points and everybody was happy and everybody eats. And we had the shirts and it was like, oh, this shit's working. Yeah, it's working great. But then when you really dialed it back and looked at really how we were scoring and a lot of it was from turnovers and great field position. And there was a lot to it that played into those points being the way they were, right? James Cook, obviously. Yep. And because if you look at the stats in those games, very underwhelming, very just terrible. Mac Hollins was 60 yards one game, Khalil with 40. Nothing was really, you could see we were struggling, but yet we were winning still, and everything was great. But it eventually catches up to you, and that's all I'm saying is I feel like they did enough this offseason with the additions to be better than they were last year. I just haven't seen it yet. That's all I'm saying. So. We have plenty of time to get this shit right, but if they don't, I will say this, the trade deadline, once again, if there's somebody out there, they may need to make that move again to get a guy that could be that guy. I'm just being honest with you. Even if it's a 1-year deal again, where it's another player like a Cooper that could come in and get that respect from the defense to open it up more for the rest of the guys. Unless, once again, a guy like Coleman steps up more, starts to play better. Khalil Shakir, we'll see, once he gets healed up. But early on, I'm not satisfied with our receiver room right now, how it looks. And that's a little concerning, even with the points being scored. Tonight, we'll see. I mean, tonight's another test. By the way, tonight, no excuse, right? You're going against corners that they don't have the best corners. There's no excuse for these receivers not to have a decent game tonight, guys. I'm just this is a test too. I will say this. If once again, our receivers are just not getting separation, Josh is kind of working out of the pocket to create more time, then it kind of tells you where our receiver room is. If they can't get separation against a subpar corner, right? Corners. So there's no, you're talking about Storm Duck, right? Rasul Douglas and these guys are, you know what I mean? If they're locking us down, yeah, guys, if they're locking our guys down, we're having trouble getting open. We need to start really talking more about, because you can't, because you know what will happen. And I'll tell you, teams will eventually go, okay, fuck their receivers. We have no faith. We're just going to fucking worry about the run game. We're going to fucking stack the box. We're going to pressure Josh, right? We're going to just pretty much put heat on him.
Yep.
And let's see if these guys can get open, because we don't think they can.
Yep.
And eventually that will catch up to you. So they better I need to see something tonight. I have to see something.
I think that's going to be the Dolphins' game plan tonight. I mean, looking at
which would be smart.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the Dolphins' favorite formations, and we'll probably see this tonight, is that even front that they do, where it's 5-2-4, right? So they have two linebackers, 5 down defensive linemen, 3 three 5-techs, or I'm sorry, 2 5-techs, 1 1-tech, and then they'll have their outside linebackers line up as defensive ends on the outside, kind of like a wide 9 set, but you still have 3 other linemen in the middle there. And they at times rush all 5. They'll drop one guy out of that. They'll try to do a bunch of different things, stunts and whatnot. But most of the time when they do that, they're running man coverage with 4 DBs in the backfield, and their linebackers can't cover to save their lives. Right?
Yeah.
Tyrell Dodson's one of their linebackers. We know he can't cover anybody, but they do that to get the highest amount of pressure on the quarterback. And just look, if you can get the ball to your receiver against this coverage, then there's nothing we're going to be able to do to stop you the rest of the game. But
exactly.
Exactly.
Now, Beth, I get where. Okay, so here's an argument I hear a lot of Bills Mafia make. Okay. And I'm not even going to really I'm not going to really say you're wrong necessarily that number ones have always throughout almost the history in the NFL, receivers are generally divas, right? I mean, they get that because they are, right? The true number ones, the fucking, they are. However, the only way you win a Super Bowl for the most part with a subpar receiving room is you have to have the defense. To be honest with you, for the most part, look at New England, right? New England, go back now. Yes, they had Gronk. I get that. But how outside of him, right? Even the Chiefs, right? Even without Hill, they managed without it with just Kelsey and him because they had a defense that could back it up, right? We don't really have that. We can't just go through, I just don't see it like that, right? Unless these guys step up. If you go back to a lot of Super Bowl champions, a lot of them had top receivers, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Even if they were divas or not. I mean, okay, Buffalo Bills. We made it to 4 straight Super Bowls. We had Andre Reed. I'm just saying he's a number one. Would you call him a diva? I mean, he was a number one. I'm sure he had a little diva in him. I'm sure. I don't know the guy personally, but I'm sure there was something there. Michael Irvin, right? That he had for sure. Right?
There's 3 big time, and I got one today.
Yeah.
Example, or not today.
Yeah, go for it.
New day.
Yeah.
Right? So first one is Calvin Johnson was the best receiver in the entire NFL for years. Never a me. Larry Fitzgerald was another.
That's true. There is a
big time receiver. Never a me guy. Third guy is
true.
Andre Johnson with the Texans. Never a me guy.
True.
Big time receiver, one of the best receivers, if not the best, for a few years there. And then a guy that I think the Bills had a chance to go get out of the draft that I think can be that and is starting to show this season that he can is Rome Odunze in Chicago. He's killing it 100%. Over there right now. 6'3",
no, you're right.
212-pound receiver, humble dude, definitely a number one receiver with his skill set, can run routes, can get separation, all that. So it really is just a matter of the Bills being willing to go out and tag that guy and say, we want you, come here.
Right. Fine. If that's what they're worried about. By the way, if that's what they're worried about.
Exactly.
For me, and I get the concern, but to me, listen, guys, this isn't a rebuild team. This isn't a locker room that's like the Dolphins where it's all in shambles. You get a guy here. Let's say he is a little brash and cocky, whatever. You think the locker room would just go to shambles? No, the locker room is right. Not here. You get what I'm saying, guys? So I don't think a guy could come here and just wreck everything. And if he did, you know what would happen? He would be gone. A prime example, and I hate to bring it, and I like the guy, Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon Diggs got pretty much booted out because, he's talking, Allen, I'm sure they had a decent relationship, but once you kind of go after your quarterback and things start getting a little tense in the locker room and you got that going on and that maybe the locker room talked, then that was a wrap. And nobody truly is missing him today, right? I love the player, but they'll be quick to get rid of him. Trust me. So I don't we talked about this on, I forget what show it was, Friday, about if Wilkins was healthy, would I bring him in? And yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Of course I would. Well, I do. If he was ready to go, and a lot of people are against it. Why? What are you, crazy? What are you, nuts? What's the bad side of it? What would he do to this team that you'd be like, ugh? Even if you think he's going to touch Josh's balls and I really got to stop. And if he did, he'd get booted off the fucking team.
Exactly.
You get what I mean? Guys, and then you know what would happen? I promise you, let's say he played good, because he is a great player when healthy. You would go, thank God we got fucking Wilkins. Woo, look at that guy. Nobody would be like, oh, I don't like him. Get him out of here. I know he's making plays. Fuck that guy. Like, no, bro. No. Listen, everybody here at the end of the day wants a Super Bowl. I would hope. All y'all in this chat, right? We want one. We haven't had one. And if we want it and you found out, let's say a player on this team was like, oh, man, come to find out that guy in the locker room was touching people's asses all the whole year. Nobody would care. I'll be honest with you. You might go, damn, kind of weird, but fuck, man, that guy got 2 sacks in the fucking Super Bowl. I'm just saying, let's be real. Like, come on, guys, stop. Nobody. Right. But if we didn't win, then it's a problem, right? Like, then y'all get that guy out of town, right? Like, so, like, guys, like, I'm just saying, the reality is this: if we can win, and that guy, whoever we bring here, can help us get to the ultimate goal, who cares what he's, unless he's the ultimate CP. I'm not going to say the word, I'm going to get banned on here. Then fine, I get it. Outside of that, dude, the little dumb stuff. Listen, guys, it is what it is, right? They all have some shit going on. I just need somebody here that can help us win a Super Bowl. After that, fine, move on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, this is the biggest contradiction that we hear from Sean McDermott, right? Because in his press conference last week, Friday, he talks about, a leader is supposed to be, flexible in his situations, and he's supposed to work with what he has and do what's best for the people around him, and all these other cliche things that sound good from a leadership standpoint, but all things that he doesn't do. He's conformed this entire franchise into a specific culture that fits what he does best, which is be consistent, be stoic, be firm, be super confident in what he believes is going to work, and impose that upon everybody else to go and do as his will permits, right? And that's not flexibility. That's not working with the pieces you have around you, because you wouldn't need the type of culture that completely dismisses a guy that maybe it might have a sketchy past, or maybe may not be the best possible team player. That's why guys like Mike Tomlin were able to have success with the Killer Bees when they were winning games. That's why he was able to go and win a Super Bowl with those guys. Those weren't all the best guys in the world. Those weren't all guys you would want to marry your daughter, but they got a ring. Because Mike Tomlin came in and he understood, I'm a young coach. Let me play to the players' strengths. Let me just be what I need to be for them. Period. I don't need to impose my will on them. I don't need to come up with all these different cliches that they got to follow. It's my way or the highway type of deal. But that's what Sean does. So again, stuff like this where, we're spinning, we're regurgitating essentially this rhetoric that comes from Sean McDermott of, well, we want good guys in the locker room and we don't want divas. And that's what he says, but that's because he's so inflexible.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I tell people too, look, AB is a piece of shit, right? We all can agree on that, right? Terrible person. However, he got Tom Brady to vouch for him one time in New England, and then again in Tampa Bay, where he helped win a Super Bowl for Tom Brady again. And then the next year he freaked out and left. And who gives a fuck? You think Tampa Bay fans are going, oh, man, fucking loser, Antonio, wish he never came here? No, of course not. They don't care. They got what they wanted, which was a Super Bowl. And guess what? He helped. So it wasn't like he came there and ruined Tom Brady's career and everything fell apart in Tampa Bay. No, they got what they wanted. And they knew what it entailed. They knew that, okay, can we keep this guy somewhat right? Can we get this guy just 1 year where he's just somewhat kind of normal here and we'll just go through the motions? And they did, and it worked out. And I'm not saying it will work out every time, right? I'm not, and I'm sure Aramis knows that too. Like, it's not gonna. I'm not saying go sign every convict out there, every guy that's been charged with this and that. We're just saying if there's a guy out there, and like I said, Wilkins is a great example. If he's healthy, and because I know you guys are gonna be, he's not healthy. I'm just saying if he's available, what would be the harm? And the only thing you guys could come back with is he touches balls. He's the locker room guy. Like, do you guys stop? You think he's just going to come here and just like Bro, I'm back in the locker room, men's locker room. Yeah, baby. Like, that's not like, guys, like, no. You know what he's going to probably do? And 100%, he's going to go, okay, yeah, I'll come here for 1 year. I'll fucking, I'll play my ass off, and I'll get paid again.
That's it.
Because he's that kind of player. And you know what? Another team's going to go, damn, that motherfucker came there. He was a good teammate. He had so many sacks. He did this. He did. Yeah, we'll give you 45. You know what I mean? We'll give you a 3-year deal. Like, it's as simple as that. You think his agent isn't talking to him right now, going, bro, we need you got it, whatever. Settle that down and then go. Of course, bro. It's money. These most of the time, unless you're AB, because AB totally just shot himself out. But most smart players with agents who go, hey, because AB lost his agent, but most agents can go to their players and go, this is important. You want to get paid, right? Okay, you got to settle the fuck down. Let's do this 1-year deal. Let's go get you paid because I know I can get you paid. That's it. Nobody here will be like, oh, terrible sign. Of course. Come on, guys. Yeah. Let's be realistic. So that's where I'm going. Now let's get to the game because it's 7:50. Aramis, your X factors for the game, one on offense, one on defense.
You know what? I think for offense, it's probably gonna have to be Josh Palmer. He's if they line this up the way they usually do, the Dolphins are gonna have Rasul Douglas on Palmer's side. So if Palmer can, start getting off early, with a lot of these simple West Coast routes and get something going there, that should start to open the pass game up a lot for the Bills. So that's going to be my expectations on offense. On defense, though, man, I really think it's going to come down to one of the defensive tackles. It's going to have to be one of the defensive tackles. I mean, from an edge standpoint, there's not enough time for our edge rushers to get to Tua. So we're going to have to get pressure from somebody. Somebody's got to get consistent pressure up the middle. I'm probably going to lean towards TJ Sanders being that guy, getting, heavy pressure up the middle on Tua. That's what we need, is to get him off his spot, to slow that off and make him hold the ball and get sacks. That's what the Bills have done consistently against him anyway, that plus press coverage. But I think the rush up the middle is really going to be the X factor in this game. Nice. Okay, I like it. I'll go X factor and offense. See, I did Palmer last week in like fantasy football. It disappointed me. I'm gonna go. I never say Josh Allen because he's always an X factor. That's kind of a rule we have here. But I'll go. I'm gonna go Keon Coleman this one. I said Keon Coleman the first game, and he shined. I think this game he could shine against those smaller backs and slower backs too. And he kind of bully them around. I'm hoping. I'm gonna go Keon in this game on offense. On defense, I'll go. Geez, it's hard not to say Bosa because the way Bosa's been playing. Tell you who's been quiet this year. I'm a little disappointed because he's always taking a little step. Is Groot? He's kind of having somewhat of a quiet year. I'm gonna go Groot this one. Okay. I think Groot kind of shines in this one, so I'm gonna go Groot on defense, and I think Bosa is going to help that. Out actually so I'll go Groot. Okay, score prediction. So we have some right now. Of course, Roy likes to be the close scoring guy, the losing but he's saying Bills 30-20 in overtime, not to mention in overtime. So Prater kicking the game winner. All right. So what's your score prediction, man? And we'll get to Real Men after this. Real Men of Genius. I'm gonna go. Man, you know what? My guy Billy D gave me a prediction earlier today, and as soon as he gave it to me, I'm like, that's almost exactly what I would have picked. But I told him I wouldn't bite it, so I'm gonna go Bills 40, Dolphins 21.
Damn, 40 burger. I want to say it, man. I do, the 40 burger, but it just seems like we constantly do this thing where we let up off the gas pedal, and it's a thing we like to do. I'll get some others predictions here. Supercalifragilistic 38-13. Spin 45 to 113, the most points ever scored in a football game.
Who's got the 113 spin?
I really hope we do. And I'll tell you what, all that shit talking, that I did about the receivers, and they just have a 500-yard receiving game, 113 points. But of course, I'll still come on here and be like, we gave up 45. That's fucking bullshit. Right? I mean, we could have hold the 20. All right. It was, oh, come on. Don't bring that now. I don't believe that at all. It was a typo, I think. All right. So let's get to Real Men of Genius. Oh, I got 37-13. I'll go 37-13. Okay. It could be 37-20, maybe garbage touchdown, but I'll go 37-13. All right. Real quick, we'll play 2 Real Men of Genius for you tonight. Let's see here. What are we going to do? Oh, this one's for you. I saw this one. I'm like, this is for King Aramis.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Basketball Shoe Designer.
Mr. Basketball Shoe Designer.
Every year you make staggering advances in technology, like air, more air, slightly less air, and a separate air chamber for maximum air.
She's gonna blow.
Good ball handling skills, sound fundamentals, a killer outside shot. All completely useless unless we're wearing your sneakers.
I got a 2-inch vertical.
They're designed to last for a decade, which is just about the time we'll have them paid off.
I'm living in my van.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh sultan of the sneaker. We may never make a layup, but your shoes will always be a slam dunk.
Mr. Basketball Shoe Designer.
Bud Light beer.
2-inch vertical. He says all that stuff like,
well done.
Yeah, well done. One more, and then we're out here for the folks. God, man, let's see. These are great. I love these, man. Yeah, they're so funny, dude. Okay, we'll do, I guess, this one.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
If you know, you know.
Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Apartment right by the L-Tracks guy.
Mr. Apartment right by the L-Tracks guy.
You asked your broker for a place that was close to public transportation. How does 3 feet sound?
Sounds kind of noisy.
It's the perfect apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and 150 tons of screeching steel passing by your window every 6 minutes.
Give or take a minute.
Of course, you'll eventually get used to the sound. 2 days before you move out.
He's moving near the airport.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh resident of the rails, and wave to those commuters. Just remember to put some pants on first.
Mr. Apartment right by the old tracks guy.
Bud Light.
He's moving to the airport.
Dude, you know why I find it so fun? No, I visited up north, and there I had a friend that stayed right by one of those. It was terrible. And then when I moved to Michigan, I moved right by a train, and I literally, across the street from me. It's the worst fucking thing ever, bro. I had to buy a sound machine and just blast it because you just hear it's all, bro, all night. And it was one of those where they run, because here they run like parts, like auto parts. So bro, it's all night. Stopping. And dude, it's so annoying. Never again.
You got something like that here. It's in a very, so like Buffalo has a lot of these like really like residential looking areas where it's just homes and grass and all white picket fencing and everything. Not pretty because it's Buffalo, but anyway, there's this street called Linden, right? And Linden, you would never think there's train tracks behind these houses on Linden. But dude, my aunt had an apartment in one of those houses back when I was little, and I never even knew, because I had been in the backyard, never seen any tracks. You had to go up a hill in the back, like you had to go over the fence, up a hill, and then the tracks were like up there, right?
Right.
Dude, one night I heard, I was like, what the is going on, bro? I was shook. I didn't sleep half the night, man. I didn't sleep half the night.
It's the worst. I will say the only thing good that came out of me when I first moved here by that is I bought a sound machine. It kind of changed my sleeping style. I sleep like a baby. I've used that sound machine every fucking night, and I'm just like, and yeah, it's great. So that's one thing I came good out of it, but I still never again. Like, there's a reason why houses are probably low costing when they live by trains and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, it's 8:00, man. 15 minutes till game time. I'll be here at halftime. Man, halftime, bro. I try to use halftime shows, and I'm still gonna do them, but holy shit, I gotta rush here. It's like 10 minutes, I'm done. So I'll be here halftime, but holy crap, it's fast. And then we do post game, me and Mikey, right after the game. And then Friday Night Lights is tomorrow at 9. You don't want to miss that. Are you guys going live tomorrow?
We will be live 5:30.
All right.
30.
There you go. Post Podium Podcast. If you don't know, now you know. At 5:30 tomorrow, and they're going to have a lot to say. Hopefully, good things to say about the Buffalo Bills. They always do. Like this. That is the most rah-rah channel on the internet going today. Yeah. Katy Perry music playing. Convertibles driving by their studio. Just everybody's having a good time.
Yep. Lots of Mega Trainer posters.
Yeah, just pure wham music playing in the background. Everything's great. Anyways, guys, I'll see you at halftime. Bills Mafia, you guys are the best. Go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.
Peace.